This is a Flutter tutorial on how to use BLoC. To make it more fun, we are using the Flame game system. So we are connecting the Flutter and Flame layers with BLoC. So right here there's a Flutter drawer, and I can change some of the sprites in the Flame system using the Flutter drawer. Also, we can use a Flutter button. This is a text button to manipulate the score that way as well. Additionally, using the joystick controller, the collision between the two sprites, the flame gem sprite here, and the Pinkie, Pink Man, it will increment the score. Also, this is a alert dialog, which we can then click on one way or the other. The next challenge here is we're going to add a snack bar to the bottom that's triggered by a change in the BLoC, which is the state management system that we are learning about in this tutorial series. In the file structure on the left hand side, we have the Flutter layer here, and we have two files in here. One's the drawer, that's the sidebar, and the other is this main Flutter layer. So to make it easier to understand, we have the alert dialog with that pop-up that appears when you reach the score of 2. We're going to extract it first. So let's extract this widget and call it rich dialog. So it's when you've achieved a certain level of score or a certain level of treasures, like Pinkie has gotten it, and we'll just store it because there's a limited number of files. We'll just store in the same directory, this Flutter layer. We'll call it rich dialog.dart, and in the main Flutter layer, we will cut this out and drop it into this new file. Everything's red because we did not import any of the Flutter stuff. So we'll import Flutter material because I'm building for Android. I might use some of these widgets. This is now red because it's in a different file. So we import the library here, and it's blue because it wants a const with the newer Dart, and we'll just add this const modifier. And now we have the UI that's being built out in separate files. We're not using any of the variables in the dialog box from the BLoC state management system, so we don't have to build it within a BLoC builder, but that is also possible if you want to increase, like, maybe weapon count or tools that the person might be using. We don't have that in our game, so we're trying to keep it simple so we can power through this thing. So we're next going to add the snack bar. Maybe to keep it easier to read, I'll use the same technique, and I'll just drop it in here first. So we'll create a variable, snack bar, maybe let's call it snack bar 2, or maybe snack bar 4, and we'll have it be equal to snack bar, and we'll just have the contents be some text like congratulations, you have 4 gems. So our screen only has 2 gems on it, so I'm probably going to need to create some additional gems. We'll put the style here, which I'm going to grab from the theme. Whoops, text theme, text theme. And this is unused right now. So we have this test here if the score equals 2, but then we'll put another test here if it equals 4. Let's do state. So the state, if you're new, we're using a BLoC consumer, and the state's right here. So that's how we can grab the state from the BLoC. I guess if you're just joining this series, the linkage is, it's this score here, which is in the state management system. So we can access the score. If it equals 4, then we will pop open our snack bar here. So it's a standard Flutter scaffold messenger. .o, and we have the context in here, and then we'll have our show snack bar, which is from Flutter, and it's named snack bar, right? So it's that guy right there on line 12, which is we called snack bar 4. Okay, and we don't have 4 gems, so we need to add some additional gems on here. I'm now in Pinkie game.dart, and I've already added 2 gems, so let's add 2 more. First one is the x coordinate, so we'll go maybe 500 and 400 and 800 and 500, so they're kind of dispersed around. See what it looks like. Okay, so we got our 4 gems here. Score is updating. So when I go to score 2, this little the other dialog should appear, and it's appearing. So we'll buy more jet fuel. We'll just take sure this works. And we'll go down here. And let's see. And the snack bar is working. Right, so you could certainly make a kind of a fun set of challenges here for Pinkie. Now that you know how to connect the Flutter, all the Flutter widgets, and there is a vast library of Flutter widgets out there nowadays, that's fantastic, to Flame. So I think I'm going to keep this one relatively short. So just a few tips on how to go through the tutorial series, right? So if you click on the playlist, I have the GitHub repository for the code here. There's some additional instructions. There's information on the graphics. There's the code snippet to the joystick that is from the official Flame team. So the main one you want to get is the GitHub, most likely. And go here. Okay, so the trick is that under this button for the branch, you can see the different branches, right? So if you wanted to get it at a point in time, intro setup, where the code is much shorter at this point, you could see it here. So I'm on the first tutorial, right? These are, there's not much in it at this point. So if the code sample is shorter, it's likely easier to understand because you can focus on just a smaller number of learning points. So you might want to use the branch here. Have a fantastic day.